crankcase, the camshaft, anything of that nature, it's not going to really guarantee a warranty, a starter, or an alternator, but it's what's majorly makes the power to the rear tires, which means a major part of the engine, major parts of the transmission, the drive shafts, and the rear axle. So that's pretty much in a nutshell.
And it's four-wheel drive.
It's four-wheel drive. You transfer case and front axle and front drive shaft. But it's powertrain. What transmits the power to the rear wheels is the way I have to think about it. Comes in with a problem. Once again, we diagnose it. We see what the problem is. We run our numbers through Chrysler based off your VIN number, and the computer tells us what's covered and what is not. And we always try to find out what's covered before we call you and say, hey, it's like $800. We'd like rather call you and say you have a $0 deductible, or you may have a $100 deductible, depending upon the vehicle. One thing that they can do is Chrysler, if you have a failure, they can ask for proof of routine maintenance. You know, have you changed the oil? Have you changed the service of transmission? It's their right to ask that. And we do have sometimes when a vehicle comes in and the owner says, oh, I've changed my own oil, and you take the oil cap off of it, and it looks like sludge on the inside of it. He might have been changing his own oil, but he may not have been using the proper oil in the engine. If anybody wants to do their own maintenance, we don't have a problem with that. But make sure you do buy the approved fluids for the vehicle and keep those receipts. Absolutely. When you change oil or do something to that car, you keep that receipt. The good thing about our particular business is everything we do goes through the computer. We have just years worth of information on these vehicles that we can go back based off the VIN number and look and see exactly what we have performed. We can print off tickets from past repairs, and if a vehicle comes in here and it's been serviced regularly in our shop and they ask for proof of any type of routine maintenance, we can pull it right up and we're right there with you. Chrysler knows us, but they know we're good, honest people. Most of the time, if I just tell them, hey, we've been servicing this thing every 5,000 miles for the last 2 years, they usually don't make a big fuss about it. So.
And they know we don't file fraudulent warranty claims as well.
That's
correct.
correct.
One of the reason that they do have the trust factor in that. So.
Now, one thing about it, any of our warranties that we have out there on the basic warranty, meaning 336, 5-year, 100,000 miles, is not going to cover loan car use or loss of time or wages, for anything like that. In other words, if you're out of town and your truck breaks and you can't work for 2 days, they usually don't, that's basically your situation that you need to take care of. But we try very animately, especially those of you guys that work out of your vehicle, we're going to do everything we can to keep y'all working. We do something to get you something to drive. We push your vehicle up front, try to get it taken care of. Because we know the guys that are having to work for a living, that depend upon that truck, they got to have that thing going every day. That's what we're all about. Keeping y'all on the road, keeping y'all happy. Somebody's getting a call.
Were you?
He was covered. And like I said,
Oh no.
Give her a second.
I'll take it.
Well, I've been in this business a pretty good while. 18 years here, been a mechanic my entire life, and a lot of times I go out there and in 5 minutes I can tell whether somebody's taking care of their car just by looking at it. You can just tell. I think most of our customers do a good job, but the one thing I will tell you is when Chrysler asks questions, I'm going to tell them the honest truth, because I've learned in my life, if you're going to be honest, you're going to be honest every time you open your mouth. You can't get away with a lie. And the corporation knows that the type of people we are. They know our business here, and they know when we call them and say, hey, we need a favor, we need something taken care of, or this customer's got a problem. They know we're telling you, from our heart, as truthful as we can. And they listen to what we have to say. Got any questions while I'm up here about the warranty or anything? No questions? Mine? I got a couple.
You got it. Yeah. A couple more things that I wanted to discuss with everyone while they're here. I also wanted to tell you about a few things that, as a dealership, that we offer. I'm not trying to sell you anything today, but this is all about education on what we do. You'll notice the little blue brochure right here. We have a program. David Gutierrez in the back. The guy in the yellow, great young man. He runs this program. I'm going to give you the short of the long here. All right. People's credit is not as good as it once was. Okay. That we all know that. The last 3 or 4 years has hindered a lot of people's buying power, okay? I don't think there's anybody in this room that can't buy a vehicle. But if you know somebody that's really fallen on hard times, we can sell them a car, okay? No questions asked. 100% of the people that walk in here, as long as they're not wanting to spend $50,000, they can buy a vehicle.
Okay, $49.95.
Not quite. But, you know, this is one of those realistic things. If it's reestablishing credit, the reason this is such a better deal for people is that they don't, you go to a buy here, pay here lot, you're paying 3 times what the car's worth plus 20% interest. Doesn't help rebuild your credit. None of these things apply here. Okay? You get to choose your car. It's not a ridiculous interest rate. They do have to pay money down, I'm going to tell you. Like I said, no one in this room probably qualifies for this, but you probably know someone that needs some help. And that's the only reason we did it. This is a feel-good story for us because we're selling somebody a car and helping them rebuild their credit. Okay? So I just want to let you know that because I can tell you, I know a lot of people that are in that situation. We also, I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but this town has gotten extremely short on detail shops. Everybody agree? It's tough to find a place. If you have a place, ridiculously busy. So we do offer, if you bring your car in, we do offer customer washes. We toyed with it forever. Not one of those deals that's going to be a full detail. What do we even charge for a customer wash? $20,
$20 to $30.
Look, depending on how big the car is, they'll just kind of make that deal with you.
Yeah, it's 50 for Tim because we know what he drives for.
If it's his wife's car, it's 15. She's out now.
We can make it.
But all kidding aside, I think that's a bargain. Pretty well every other detail shop in town charges $30 to $40 just for a quick wash. So, not a full detail, but your car will look good when you get it. So, I really had planned on taking everyone outside, showing them how to change a tire, but I don't think anybody really would be interested in doing that when it's 110 degrees. Maybe later on down the road we'll do that when it gets a little bit.
December.
But
All that 800.
in all honesty, that's one of those things you never ever think about until you need to do it. You have a flat, it's hot or whatever, so I'm going to give everybody Brian Daly's cell phone number. If you ever have a flat 24/7, you just call him, okay? All kidding aside, if anyone has a, you know, at the end of the day, we want happy customers. And I'm willing, the only reason I'm doing this is because I think most of y'all know how we do business. It's very important to me. I don't want to just sell you a car. I want to sell you the rest of your cars as long as you're buying cars.
But I can't lift a tire. So how am I going to
I
change
said
the
I'm going to
tire?
give you a cell phone number. You call me when you have a flat. Okay? But let's just hope you don't have a flat, is all I can tell you. But anyway, at the end of the day, you guys are going to get surveys from the manufacturer. I will never, ever beg for a good survey score. I don't think that's right. But if you ever look at a survey and you can't give us the best marks on there, I want to know why. And that's truly the way I feel about it. That's just, that's really what this is about. I mean, we want you to have a good experience when you buy the car. We want you to have a good experience in the service. As long as you own the car, I mean, I want it to be a good experience. Like I said, the door's open. These are really good guys. And girls. But if you ever need anything, please do not hesitate to call.
If we have extended warranty and have a flat, then we can use our assistant.
Actually, where's Brian?
Loveless?
See, I'm going to get
We got a guy to answer that question.
It's actually a different number, truthfully. And I'll get you that. On your service contract,